Good morning to all. Respected Shahir sir and my dear friends. Today, we mighty brains present on the topic child labor in accordance with Humanitarian Day. Child labor is a kind of crime where children are violated to work at a very young age and do the duties just like grown-ups by practicing in business activities. As per the International Labour Organization, a rule has been established according to which children up to age limit of 15 should not be involved in any job forcefully. The use of the children for financial work makes children denied of childhood, proper literacy, mental, physical and social well-being. In some countries, this practice is completely forbidden. However, it has become an international matter in most of the states as it is ruining the future of children extensively.
Poverty and unemployment in developing nations are the leading cause of child labor. As per the statistics of the UN of 2005, more than one-fourth of people globally are existing in extreme poverty, deficiency of admittance to proper education in many nations. In 2006, it was found that about 75 million children were far from school life. Breaking laws about children labor give way to prolonged child labor in any developing nation. Poor social control provides rise to child labor in agriculture or household work. Limited rights for children and laborers affect labor's living standards to a high degree, which is also a significant issue. Many children start working to improve the income of their family so that they can manage at least 2 times of food. They are appointed by the companies to make more production at reduced labor cost.
Child labor is still followed in many nations even after being a big offense. Owners of the industries, mines, factories, etc. are using child labor at high level to get more work at low labor cost. Poor children are more inclined to be involved in the child labor as they are overpowered by parents to make some money to give financial help to the family at a very tender age. Alternately of taking proper education and enjoy their childhood.
Child labor is a huge social obstacle that requires to be resolved on an instant basis with the help of both people and government. Children are very small, however they lead a flourishing future of any developing country. So they are the big responsibility of all other citizens and should not be used in negative ways. To get a proper chance to evolve and grow within the happy atmosphere of family and school. They should not be restricted by the parents only to secure the economical scale of the family and by the companies to get labor at a low cost.
Child labor is a social evil. It affects the life of children miserably. The engaged children lose everything in the process. It is very important to enjoy every phase of life, but such children's childhood is lost between the torture and hardships of the life they are going through. It adversely affects their physical, mental and emotional well-being. It significantly extends the illiteracy and lack of awareness among these generations. It leads to malnutrition among the children. Such children are found to be addicted on drugs and depressions. The dignity and morals of the children are compromised. They become mature at a very tender age, which is not healthy. Child labor is a very vicious crime. It is not affects the development of the child, but also hinders the economic growth of the nation.
As per Indian law, children who come under the age group of 1 to 14 years are not allowed to be employed to any job possibly by parents or masters in factories, offices or restaurants. It is commonly practiced in India and other developing countries in small-scale industries for domestic service as restaurant waiter, for rock breaking like a shopkeeper's representative in construction site, for bookbinding, etc. These are several reasons for child labor in our country. Some of the grounds of global warming child labor are similar, however they differ from country to country. Most popular reasons are poverty, suppression of child rights, irregular education, inadequate rules and laws, etc.
Child labor occurs due to numerous reasons. When we know the root problem of the cause, we can surely fight it better. One of the most and crucial reasons for child labor is poverty. For deprived households, even addition of little money to the family is very critical. To feed the hunger of the whole family, the parents push their children to earn money and lend them a helping hand. The high rate of unemployment existing within the country also leads to an increase in the number of child laborers. The rural poor households consist of very big families. With the limited resources available, it becomes difficult to them to sustain the whole family's needs. Hence, many boys work in the agriculture fields, coal mines, glass factories, etc. And girls are hired by the richest households as a domestic helpers. The literacy rate of the poor strata of society is quite prominent. Consequently, they do not understand the importance of education. The children are not encouraged to pursue their studies and instead are expected to support the family financially. The lack of education and enough awareness leads to the exploitation of the children's basic rights.
This day is dedicated to humanitarian worries all around the world. This day was designated in memory of 19 August 2003 bomb attack in the Canal Hotel in Baghdad, killing 22 people, including the chief. Humanity is simply an act to respond to anyone and everyone who is in need, irrespective of their race, religion, political opinion, gender, or nationality. This day is celebrated to pay tribute to real-life heroes who spend their lives in humanitarian services by risking their own lives. These workers include police officers, doctors, nurses, government workers, and all organizations that spend their day and night helping humanity. This year's theme is focused on the severe climate crisis that has gripped several countries across the world. The theme for this year is the human race, which is a global challenge for climate action in solidarity with the people who need it most.
I would like to mention something about genocide. What's genocide? Genocide is the international action to destroy people, usually defined as an ethnic, national, racial, or religious group, in whole or in part. Genocide word means act of killing. Now, I am mentioning some of the most horrific genocides happened in the world. It's the horrifying, a cold-blooded genocide took place 102 years ago. It was witnessed at the hands of British. Thousands of men, women and children were killed on the orders of British General Reginald Dyer. The Holocaust, also known as Shoah, was a genocide of European Jews during World War II between 1941 and 1948. Around 6 million were dead in that genocide. Armenian genocide was a systematic mass murder of around 1 million ethnic Armenians in the Ottoman Empire during the First World War. Cambodian genocide was a systematic persecution and killing of Cambodians by the Khmer Rouge. It resulted in the death of 1.5 to 2 million people. And I would like to say that genocide should not be part of present or future.
Respected teachers and all my dear friends, I am Diavinaya from the team Spartan. I am going to speak about the topic racism. Racism is the wrong belief that some people are better and superior to others due to the genetic trait corresponding to the skin color and race. It refers to the thoughts that inherent physical appearance has a link with personality and intelligence. Many corrupt people use racism as an excuse to justify barbaric behavior towards others. People think that passing casual comments that link people's work with their ethnicity is a joke. Racism comes in several forms like symbolic, ideological, structural, interactional, etc. Ideas and assumptions about racial categories dictate the behavior of some people towards others. Keep calm and stop racism. Thank you. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is a phrase and notability a hashtag used to highlight racism, discrimination, and inequality experienced by black people. Its use grew in us after high-profile killing by police, but it has also been used in the UK and elsewhere. They want action to address inequality treatment and oppressions that goes all the way back to the era of slavery but which continues today. Racism, xenophobia, and intolerance are problems prevalent in all societies. But every day, each and every one of us can stand up against racial prejudice and intolerant attitudes. Be a human rights champion. Youth Standing Up Against Racism is a 2021 theme. It engages the public through which aims to foster a global culture of tolerance, equality, and anti-discrimination, and calls on each and every one of us to stand up against racial prejudice and intolerant attitudes. Respectful and tolerant societies are typically the most harmonious. To get through the challenges of the 21st century, we are going to need to learn to overcome racism. Learn to recognize and understand your own privilege. One of the first steps to eliminating racial discrimination is learning to recognize and understand your own privilege. Racial privilege plays out across social, political, economic, and cultural environments. Racism is the only one except to privilege, religion, gender, sexuality, ability status, language, and citizenship status can all affect your level of privilege. Using the privileges that you have to collectively empower other requires first being aware of those privileges and acknowledging their implication. Examine your own biases and consider where they may have originated. Validate the experience and feelings of people of color. Challenge the colorblind ideology. Stand up for the people being harassed, intervene if it's safe to do so. When the public stands in solidarity with immigrant and marginalized groups, bullies lost their power. If you see someone being harassed or physically attacked, it is important to help if you can do so safely. Make your presence as a witness known. Make eye contact with the person being attacked and ask if they want support. Verbal and physical abuse is wrong and should not be tolerant. All people deserve to be treated with dignity and humanity. Help promote and defend human rights and make a difference in combating racism.
Good morning all. My name is Gautam Vijay and I am here to say something about dowry system. Nowadays, Kerala is witnessing so many murder and suicide cases regarding dowry system. One of the worst evils of Indian society is the dowry system. The word dowry means the property and money that a bride brings to her husband's house at the time of her marriage. It is a custom that is prevalent in all the sections of our society in one form or the other. At the beginning, it was voluntary, but later on, the social pressure was such that very few could escape from it. The dowry at present is a source of both joy and curse in the society. It is also a joy to the husband and his relatives who get cash. Costly dress and utensils, furniture, bedding, materials, etc. But it is a curse to the bride's parents who have to bear enormous cost to satisfy the unreasonable demands of the bridegroom's party. A demand of dowry does not diminish even after marriage. The in-laws of the bride are very much ready in Indian homes to inflict harassment, insults, and tortures, both mental and physical. When more pressure is put on the bride's parents, their dear daughter has no other option but to commit suicide to avoid more insult and torture at the hands of members of her husband's family. So, the only remedy to escape from this is to consider the girl child as our wealth, and this system should be completely banned from the society through strict laws.
Good morning all. Today I am here to speak on the topic dowry system. I believe that dowry system is the greatest curse of the Indian society. The parents of the brides are put to inhuman pressure for a handsome dowry in kind or cash, whatever it may be. All the noble virtues of human beings like love, affection, sense of equality, liberal motive, gentleness, sympathy, kindness, etc. Dowry system is a dent on the marriage which either destroys a bride's family or generates hatred between the bride and the groom's family. Every parent has lots of aspirations related to their girl's marriage. They think that their girl will go to a good family where she will become a bed of roses. But reality is very harsh from those beautiful aspirations. It is such a curse on the society where the goodness of a girl and her education doesn't matter. The only thing which matters most is how much dowry she can bring to the groom's family. While finalizing the marriage, the groom's family starts pressurizing the bride's family for dowry. Many marriages have also been cancelled where the bride's family was unable to fulfill the huge demands of the groom's family. Situation becomes critical after marriage when the bride is tortured, beaten, and abused for not bringing proper dowry. It's on all of us to take active steps in bringing about the necessary change. We all have to work together to stop this system. Girls should oppose to marry a boy who demands dowry. Should not ask for dowry. With this, I end my speech. Thank you.
Good morning. As you all know, today, August 19, is World Humanitarian Day. As per World Humanitarian Day, our team, Great Thinkers, are presenting about social evils. What are social evils? Social evils are the issues that directly or indirectly affect the members of a society and are considered a point of controversy or a problem in regards to moral values. Common social evils include caste system, poverty, dowry system, gender inequality, illiteracy, etc. The most prevalent of the social evils in India are corruption, drug abuse, child labor, domestic violence, human trafficking, dowry and dowry death, gender inequality, female foeticides.
Chennai Chief Minister M.K. Stalin conducted a review meeting on the Social Welfare and Women Empowerment and Social Reform Department. According to the release, Stalin revised the functioning of the department and instructed officials to protect and ensure the safety, rights and welfare of women, children, trans persons and senior citizens. CM also advised officials to ensure that welfare assistance schemes for women's education and various other schemes that are implemented for social reforms reach the beneficiaries at the right time. He also emphasized on the marriage financial assistance. Officials were instructed to create awareness to educate social evils, child marriage and female feticide. Special focus should be given to food supplied to kids under nutritious diet schemes. CM also instructed the officials to have a special focus on malnourished children apart from setting up women's hostels in districts where such facilities are not available.
World Humanitarian Day is held every year on 19th August to pay tribute to aid workers who risk their lives in humanitarian services and to rally support to people affected by crises around the world.
everyone, today is Humanitarian Day. So let us point out the evil factors which are destroying our society. No matter how much developed or advanced a country is, still there are so many social evils which causes its perfect development. If we ignore it, then it may cause our society a lot. So let's reunite and fight against them. If we dig into the news around the world, it mainly focuses on Afghanistan. As Afghanistan's government collapsed and handed over it to Taliban, they seized the country's power. Actually, it's not about Taliban, but the people are going to lose their freedom. The United Nations Secretary General said that international humanitarian law and human rights, especially the hard-won gains of women and girls, must be preserved. Another one I have noticed is dowry system. We have already heard a lot of cases and crimes regarding it. Domestic violence has been increasing in the society, so we should not encourage the practice of giving or taking dowry. The person who gives or takes dowry should be punished. I would like to speak about climate change and pollution too. After the formation of G7 Summit 2021, the leaders mainly agreed on climate change and refunding again. As we can see, climate change is caused because of pollution and we people are the reason for it. So we should be aware about pollution and must act. Next one is alcoholism and drugs. If social justice and social equality has to establish, then there is a need to bring about ideological revolution accompanied by economic program, said Srimati Pratibha Patel. She was once the Minister of Social Welfare in Maharashtra. In her experience, alcoholism and drugs were really evils of society. People mostly consumed liquor and gambling and had a deleterious effect on their health and family. She fought against alcoholism and promoted the causes of de-addiction. These are the ones I would like to highlight the most, and besides these, there are a lot of social issues faced by the people like illiteracy, decline of community, individualism, poverty, etc. The COVID-19 pandemic compels us to look at the human rights issues from a different angle, and let us dedicate this day to honor our COVID aid workers. Thank you.
Good morning. Respected principal, teachers, and my dear friends, I am here today to speak a few words of humanity. Humanity is the quality of kindness, mercy, and sympathy of human beings. Humanity is trying to understand others and realize their problems with our own eyes. It means caring for others and helping the needy people. It also means loving and caring plants and animals. Every religion in the world tells about humanity. Humanity, the reason we all are what we are today. People work for humanity are happiest ones. No matter which religion we belong to, we are human first. We must help each other and serve for humanity. Help the poor, disabled, and old is one of the greatest humanitarian deeds a person can do. I would like to mention words of Mahatma Gandhi. He had once said, "You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops does not become dirty." There are so many great examples of human beings who have devoted their lives of humanity. Mother Teresa is one such great who worked for poor and helpless. Let us all do our best for humanity by helping for poor and needy people. If we all do a bit from our side, what will be a better place to live. Thank you.
I am here to speak about refugee crisis. Most refugees are people who have been displaced due to either a direct or indirect result of a war. The first international refugee crisis happened in 20th century when more than 50 million people were displaced because of the Second World War. As of now, the Syrian refugee crisis has been going on since 2011. It caused over 6.3 million people to displace internally and caused over 5 million people to leave the country. 2 million Syrian refugees have been registered on UNHCR in Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, and Lebanon. 3.5 million Syrians registered by the government of Turkey. Thanks to all for hearing my little speech. Have a nice day.
Challenges facing by refugee children. Concerns work with refugee children. From education and emergency response to nutrition and water and sanitation, children and their unique needs and circumstances are at the center of all areas of concerns work. About 263 million children and youth around the world won't be going to school at all. Limited access to quality education. A quality education is one of the essentials to success in life, but this becomes a challenge in refugee children. The world is currently dealing with the largest refugee population on record, with more than 25 million people uprooted from their homes and living abroad in host communities. shifting family dynamics and responsibilities, overcrowded housing conditions, the aftermath of traumatic events, radically different financial realities. These circumstances are common with refugee families living in host communities. This can lead to a dysfunctional shift in family dynamics once they reach asylum.